Alright, in the mail today came my headlight switch, which I ordered. All the parts and products that I use are going to be in the description. So today we're essentially going to take this headlight switch off, and I'm going to have to come up with a new way to mount the clutch that I didn't realise before, but it's all integrated into the same mechanism. So that'll be a bit of fun. So yeah, let's get into it. So with these naked bikes, we'll take the headlight off, which is 2 Phillips screws, and then essentially all the cables come into the back of the headlight, and that's how they do wiring up to make it so that again it's inaccessible to most consumer people out, I guess. Just 2 Phillips heads. I'm going to probably leave this off for now because I do have a base H4 holder coming in the mail, and that should be here soon to tidy that up. What I'm going to do headlight. So of these, not quite sure which one it is. It's probably going to be the one that's got, I guess, be the headlight stuff coming off it. And essentially she just runs out of the back of there, and that's the whole lot there. So I'm going to play with that for a bit and get this switch. Like I said, I will have to come up with another idea for the clutch cable and the clutch. Didn't see that before. Frustrating. In that mechanism, wiring line, there's a whole bunch of wires that come to this plug. And as I've mentioned before, my plan is to recable a lot of this anyway with my build, but for now I'm more just trying to get again roadworthy aspect when the headlight's not working at all, and it essentially comes down to that factor of being the switch, which has no waterproof protection. So again, if you don't have a service manual, you're kind of at a disadvantage. I do have the service manual for this, so it will tell you all the wiring diagrams to make life easier. Because again, bringing a universal switch in, the colours are not going to line up. Certainly the plug's not going to line up either. So that's what all those cables out of there. And then to get the switch off itself, just Phillips again. Undo the 2 screws. Bearing in mind as well, a lot of these things when modifying with universal stuff, it's important that you understand, I guess, what you're doing to some degree. A lot of these bikes have got all your cut-off gear to prevent, obviously, the bike starting. So this is all integrated into the clutch, and there's a switch here, as you can see. So these two, when they obviously bridged, tells the simple brains that there's a closed circuit or open circuit depending on the type of switch it is. So your bike either won't start or will start based on all those other factors. Is it in gear and the clutch is in? That's a green light. I can start. The bike's in neutral and the clutch is out. I can start. So without factoring this in, if you just leave it as is, it may or may not actually do what you think, and it might actually be telling the bike I can't start or change gear or do any of those things because I don't have a clutch. So that switch is important to take into account. So I'll show you in a moment how you can work out, is it normally open or normally closed. So that's going to be something that you're going to want to ensure that you cover off. I'm not sure because I haven't looked yet at parts to whether or not universal clutches have options. This bike, they're all just tails like that, and again 2 screws. And this particular unit is also a plastic, an ABS plastic would be my take. So open her up. We can do all the cable and the physical mount, and then we'll loop back around once I can order myself a switch. So what you want to get is a multimeter. You said you get all your wiring right, and there's got 2 screws going. Generally looks nastier and meaner than it actually is. As mentioned, link will be in the description for this particular switch. It has these little rubbers to go on here, which obviously helps prevent on the bar it slipping around. Make sure you put them on. Not quite sure why they're just not on factory, but hey, a lot of this stuff has those sorts of components and it really isn't a big deal. but make sure you do it because otherwise you might get riding and the switch. You gotta remember your indicators are on this as well, and you don't really want it flopping around whilst trying to ride and beep your horn because you just got cut off. So get your screws and then mount it back up, and that's essentially the physical component done. So this particular switch will allow me to completely turn off my headlights, which I believe in ACT at least, and possibly other locations in Australia, it's illegal. Whilst riding, I believe you have to have your tail light and at least I think your parker. I'd have to check the ADR, but again, always good to make sure you do it as per your local laws. And essentially the bike, when I take it to get it registered or transferred, they will state to me you can't do it because X reason, which will then I'll just have to modify. So there's a switch. Obviously you wanted to make it so that the main thing you're going to be playing with is this low and high. In this particular one, and off altogether, has a little light to show you it's on, but it doesn't have a pass, which, like, at the end of the day, I don't really use my pass light much, if at all. So I'm not going to split bricks on that, if that's the worst case scenario. It's a little bit sloppy still, so I'll probably play around with the physical element and see if I can get it to sit a little bit. Might need to use some silicone glue or RTV or similar, just to stop it from, like I was saying, sliding around. The rubbers didn't really do a fantastic job of it. At this stage, like I said, it's more about the roadworthy element than it is about getting this bike how I want it. These handlebars will end up being potentially spun around or swapped out. So, again, not too concerned for how that's. So essentially for now, physical switch, cable runs in, comes around the back of the light, and then comes in, and this is them all here. At this stage, like I said, I'm going to hold it at that point in the switch because I'm going to have to do a fair bit when it comes to these switches, but for now I'll show you how you can check what it is. So this particular one, we've got a dot, which is the far side. Generally, it really doesn't matter with these particular ones because it's only a in and out, and it doesn't really matter whether you're that way or this way. Get your multimeter and go ohms. This is how you're going to work out if it's normally open or normally closed switch. I'm just going to sit that down there for you. Test. So that square means we've got a circuit, and put it across the pins. So we have a normally open circuit. trying to do is essentially close the circuit and hold these on the switch and do backflips. It's the joys of having two hands, unfortunately. So it's not an actual there you are. You gotta hold it on long enough. So she's normally open, and when that trigger is pulled in, the hand clutch is closed, she opens the circuit. So a normally closed universal clutch is what I'm after. And then essentially I'll be taking this clutch wire off of that. So clutch cable is actually looking like I might be worthwhile replacing it because it's a bit frayed, which we'll see in a second. You don't really want to have a clutch cable snap whilst you're riding. I have in the past had my clutch cable snap on my Ninja, and that was a lot of fun off the traffic lights, and all of a sudden I couldn't work out why. So that's essentially taking that off there, but inspecting it there, we've got a couple of frays. Could be worthwhile looking at replacing. I'll have a look and see what my options are like in that way. I'm not sure what the heck that's doing. That's a component of the old one. Clutch cable or not, or the lever, but essentially that's what you're left with. So in time I will plan to swap out this one as well, go to something similar style. Like I was saying, it's tight as it's going to go. I could pack it with probably some more rubber to stop that, which is probably going to be my best bet. So I don't know if I'm going to flip them and essentially turn them down at this point, or if I'm going to get different bars altogether, or what exactly I'm going to do, because again, if I flip them around, that's going to potentially hit on the tank. So still got a fair bit in terms of like the squeak that's coming out of here there, so I'm going to have to re-grease these bearings. For now, I think once I can get this sorted, so I've got another clutch lever, that should get me roadworthy, because I'll have headlights at work, and so I'll do all of that cabling. I'll show you how to wire that up soon, probably before I release this one. Like I was saying, I'm trying to break this up into bite-sized pieces for you guys, so if there's specific things you want more elaboration on, let me know. I'm more than happy to go into that. All of the links will be in the description, so you can hit them up. These lights will change, the headlight will change, like I said, the gauges are going to change and the headlight's going to change. The front end on this is essentially going to look completely different. Not sure if that's changing yet, and if you're not familiar, this is the clutch cable here, so it tucks up under here, runs around I think the other side, yeah, and runs up to the clutch. So that's the so that I'll probably swap out at this point too. Like I said, might just put a new clutch cable and a universal lever with a normally closed and normally open switch is what it is, because when she's not engaged she is open circuit, and bringing her in closes the circuit. So that's what a normally open, normally closed for anyone that's not electrically inclined. It's important to make sure you get the right one, because otherwise, like I said before, by not even having the switch, and this is basic bike, not having the right config will make it so it might just randomly stall and might randomly not start, because again, you're now changing the parameters. The bike might not have ECUs and fuel injection and all that smarts, but it has got some basic if this then that, if that don't do this, and they're all preventative measures to try and protect you as the rider, and also to protect the bike and ensure that it's not going to end up having, you know, the clutch dropped on it, or trying to start it and bunny hopping because it's in gear. You could potentially, if you work out the wiring schematics and stuff that are on this switch, I could close the circuit as an override. However, the downside to doing something like that is she will not protect me from trying to start it in gear. So if I'm trying to start in gear, she will bunny hop along essentially. I don't want that. And because I'm making this bike essentially as a project and it'll eventually sell, that's my plan. I want to make sure that I keep all those safety features as such operational and working. So yeah, make sure that if you're troubleshooting, that's a completely different situation altogether, because you're essentially trying to work out whether or not your switch is broken. So next time we talk, I believe currently should have an route. The bolts are in Sydney, so I will be fixing up the rest of the bolts and stuff all on the carby. So I'll pop the carby back off again and swap out all the bolts, put Allen key, nice pretty bolts on it. I want to check that float as well whilst I'm at it, so it will come back off the bike and I will pull it down, not completely like I did last time. Been looking into performance mod, and I use that loosely because we are talking about a 250cc, not a 800 or 1000 or even a 600. Performance on these things and jetting options there, what people have done, how people have done it. So I am exploring ideas in that way, because I don't just want to have a CB250 that's just a CB250 slowpoke bike. I want to get something that she can keep up, if that makes sense. Like, you're always going to have to work this bike harder to keep up with, say, this bike. I had a ZZR250 as my first bike in Australia. We have regulations power to weight. I had a Kawasaki ZZR250 2004-2005 model within that vicinity. She was blue, and my old man at the time had his other red VFR. We did Grey Ocean Road and travelling down to Melbourne and whatnot. My bike was able to keep up with his. Now, when I say keep up, she had to crank it back a couple of gears. I wasn't able to just seamlessly overtake. I was working my bike quite hard. Any 250, you're going to be working the bike quite hard. Apparently, these are well known for the bluing here on the pipes, and that's all about the heat. So they talk about fixing up the spark gaps. They talk about there's some resistors in here, taking them out. They talk about jetting the carby. Like I said, these mods are things that I will look into doing once she's roadworthy, once she's changed into my name, once I do my full teardown. I said the tank's probably going to get changed out. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I will first of all want to make sure that I don't get penalised by not bringing it across into my name. That's my primary focus for the moment. it's a project. I want to keep it cheap. I don't want to pay ridiculous money to the government just because I didn't transfer the registration straight away. And I will be putting 3 months bare essential registration on the bike so that I can test these elements as I'm doing them. Like I say, there will come that point that doing the bearings here, that's going to end up putting it off the road for a while. Taking these off and getting rid of all the pitting. I'm going to try and shine these up a bit, get rid of the matte. As you can see, the bike has been by the coast and it's going to have a lot of deterioration. So that's where we're at. Any questions, hit me up in the comments. If you've got, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, join me on the journey, let me know. Like I said, as these parts are trickling in, I'm going to be doing the install work on the bike, and then I'm going to take you guys, hopefully by that point, I will be doing a live ride on the bike at the very end and do a whole like motorbike launch. So help me reach what I need to on YouTube, subscribers and the like, and I can invite you along to the live on YouTube. However, if I don't get there by the time this build's done, I'll be doing it live over on Facebook. So follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. I'm doing a lot more posts. I'm keeping you guys more in the loop on that. I can only do the video editing and the posting, and that takes more time. So you'll get more updates. You'll see more about what I'm doing as I'm doing it over on YouTube, on Facebook or Instagram. But for now, that's it. I'll catch you on the next one.